Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's Last Post ceremony. My name is Emily Hiles, and joining us today from the Royal Australian Air Force is Officer Cadet Charlie Mulligan. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that love and support them. The live stream of this ceremony is made possible by the Returned and Services League of Australia and the RSL and Services Clubs Association. We welcome members who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the pool of reflection by visitors to the memorial. If you're able, please stand and join in singing the national anthem. Please be seated if able. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where family and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had done. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved. And here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight, we'll read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 103,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations for more than a century. But first, we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths and floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the pool of reflection.
Today, we remember and pay tribute to Private Herman William Holzberger. Herman Holzberger was born on the 3rd of March 1893 in Hindmarsh, South Australia. He was one of 9 children born to Herman Carl Holzberger, a butcher, and his wife Rose. Herman was educated locally, though little else is known about his early years. When the First World War broke out in 1914, he was working as a labourer in South Australia. Herman Holzberger enlisted in the Australian Imperial Force on the 21st of July, 1915. He was assigned to Alpha Company on the 32nd Infantry Battalion. On the 18th of November, they embarked for active service on the troop ship Delon. In Egypt in March of 1915, he joined a mix of new recruits and veterans from the recently abandoned Gallipoli campaign. He twice found himself in trouble during this period, once for being improperly dressed on parade, and once for having a dirty rifle. In early June, Holzberger and comrades embarked for service on the Western Front. From the French city of Marseille, the Australians were immediately sent north to the French and Belgian border, which had once been the site of bitter fighting. Now comparatively quiet, this area of the front became known as the nursery sector, where new troops were introduced to life in the trenches. In July, Holzberger's battalion was moved to the front lines, taking up positions around the village of Fromelles. Soon, they were called upon to take part in an attack on the village. It was to be Holzberger's first and last major action of the war. The battle was intended as a feint to prevent German reserves from moving south to take part in the Battle of the Somme. Ordered to attack strongly fortified enemy positions near the Auburn Ridge, the Allied advance was preceded by a 7-hour bombardment. It was designed to destroy the German front line, but advancing Australians quickly realised that the artillery had been almost useless, and it had also warned the enemy of an attack. As they jumped the parapet, Allied troops were quickly cut down in waves by murderous machine gun and artillery fire from German troops who had taken cover during the earlier bombardment. Though some men made it to their objective, they were quickly forced to withdraw and were again under heavy fire during their retreat. By the time the battle was called off, the 5th Division alone had suffered over 5,500 casualties, the worst 24 hours in Australia's military history. Among the casualties was Private Herman Holzberger, killed in action. His final resting place was never located, and today he is commemorated on the VC Corner Australian Memorial in France. Private Herman Holzberger was 23 years old. His name is listed on the Roll of Honour on my right, amongst 62,000 Australians who died while serving in the First World War. His photograph is displayed today beside the pool of reflection. This is but one of many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Private Herman William Holzberger, who gave his life for us, for freedom and in hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the Ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. And at the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Pozières or in the low scrub at Gallipoli, with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the last post ceremony. On behalf of our director, staff and volunteers, thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial today and for your continued support of the Memorial's development project. We wish you all a very pleasant evening.